Greetings to all of you who will watch this video. Welcome to the Slave to the Algorithm channel. I woke up this morning with a disturbing dream, and I had to get up and record this message because I believe, quite frankly, it's what the Spirit of God told me to do. This is a serious thing for me. I'm not looking for likes. I'm not looking for, all the stuff that comes along with, the YouTube and all these channels. I believe that there's somebody who needs to hear this, and I'm just trying to be obedient. I don't claim to be, anyone super spiritual or don't have a resume that would bowl you over. I'm a normal guy. I belong to a small non-denominational church, which is great. Have a pastor that teaches the Word of God and does a great job at it, and I've seen it change people's lives, and it's changed my life. The Word of God has, and a man who is diligent about teaching the apostles' doctrine. So that's who I am. I'm a follower of Christ, trying to do the will of God. And the dream I had this morning was disturbing, and I think it's for everyone to hear, not just Christians, believers, but the people of this country and the world. And you can do with it what you will. Short background on me, like I said, nothing special. Born and raised in Texas to a single mother who did the best she could. And my father was not in my household, and I never met him. And I regret that. And I realized later on that being raised by a single mother, a young man, there's some deficit there. There's some things that only a father can pass down to his son. And found that out later. But the grace of God, definitely got me through to the point where I am now. And so I'm grateful for that, for His grace. First statement I want to make is that the church is apostate. And apostate simply means a falling away, a defection, a falling away from truth, a walking away from truth. The things that should be taught are not being taught. There's a false gospel. There's a gospel that is not the gospel being taught. It's all about, being able to gain some money or some stuff, or basically you go to church and get a life coach, and that is apostate. Make no bones about that. And that's where we are today. And I think a lot of our problem in this country is because the church is apostate. But I'll address that at a different video at length. But that needed to be said. And if you doubt that, read the book of Acts and compare it with the churches you see around you today. Go visit 2 or 3 churches. Watch so-called church on TV and do a comparison, and it'll be obvious there's 2 different things going on here. And that's not pleasing to God. And we will be judged for that. Next statement I want to make is there's a civil war everywhere happening around us. Everywhere is civil war. And I believe the Lord makes a statement that basically says this. He says in Matthew 10:34 through 36, think not that I come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. I think the things that we're experiencing now in this country are highlighting these differences, these contentions between us. And so with that in mind, the next statement goes right along with that. And for me personally, it highlighted these things, and it will drill down to this dream where I'll complete this thought. But the 2016 election of Donald Trump has exposed our unmitigated hate for anyone who doesn't agree with us. I think that's obvious. So unmitigated simply means undiminished, unqualified, or absolute. And the hate we hear with people against sometimes spouses and family members and perfect strangers the last 12 months has been astonishing. it blows me away. And I've heard things from people that I love and respect that I just never knew, and maybe would have never known if we hadn't went through this point in this country. And it's a sad state of affairs. People basically, saying to other people that they may or may not be a Christian because they voted for a certain person or not. That is not right. And I think that is one of our problems in this country, is that we judge people based on face value. We judge people based on something we see without looking any deeper. And we all learn that at some point. In my household, I have no lies to tell. I grew up with certain ideas about certain people. Whether they were true about individuals was never brought up. It was about seeing a person and making a judgment, and that was wrong, and I believe our family members, our parents had the best intentions, but they missed it on that. That is incorrect. And I don't think that's pleasing to God. And I believe with this past election, it was highlighted how people are. When some of the things in their heart came to the surface about people around them. And my opinion of a politician is they all need to be fired. If you're a career politician, chances are, and I think those chances are real high, that you are corrupt, and you were corrupt before you went to DC, or you were corrupted once you went there. Either way, you're corrupt and you're not doing the will of the people, and you should be fired. I think that's probably 99.9% of the career politicians. The people that I know are not corrupt and who are in DC are people who had their own careers and are doing well in them, and they love to help people, and they simply became a politician at the behest of someone else trying to do a good thing. And one of those people, I would name a name, is Rand Paul. He's a dentist. His dad was a gynecologist, or a doctor, delivered babies. These two men are two of the few politicians that I know who became politicians later on to try to do some good, but they were doing other things to help people before that. If you went to Washington worth $50 and you and I worth 50 million, I think that's a clue, and you need to be fired. Anybody who it applies to, and I don't care what you call yourself, Republican, Democrat, I don't care what that is. That's part of our problem, is we think these labels mean something. They don't. Judge a man, as MLK said, judge a man on the content of his character, not the color of his skin, not the label he puts on himself. And then we can come to an understanding. So I think the media is maybe the biggest criminal outfit there is. Their whole purpose is to lie. They lie with purpose. They lie with purpose, and they lie for people who have paid them to lie. And make no bones about it, they are owned. So I would suggest to you to find somebody who is independent, willing to tell the truth. That's one of the reasons why my small non-denominational church can tell the truth, is because it's independent. It's not beholden to anyone else. No big organization is holding us hostage. And anybody who's held hostage or being financed will do whatever that financing calls them to do. It's simple. It's just simple. It's common sense. So getting to this dream, let me wrap this up. This dream involved the two teams that made it to the Super Bowl this year. That's correct. That's what this dream was about. It is what it is. The Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots. The Patriots represent this country. That's what the founding fathers called themselves, the Eagles. The eagle is the very symbol of this country. The dream made a statement. The people in this country are divided. There's a civil war going on. It's an informational civil war right now. The people are divided. But that was a statement in the dream. The question was, will this information civil war turn into a kinetic civil war? Kinetic civil war is a traditional war. just like the First World War in this country. I mean, the first Civil War in this country. People died. The question was, will this Civil War that is non-kinetic, that is informational, will it turn into a kinetic Civil War? Disturbing. I don't know. I don't have the answer. But my response was to get up and pray. And I implore you to do the same thing. I believe this is from the Spirit of God. I don't claim, like I said, don't claim to be a prophet. Don't claim to know anything other than any other man. No, I read scriptures. I study the scriptures. I've been taught how to do that. But this, I don't wake up with dreams. That's not me. That's not what happens to me. I've heard this happen with other men. Doesn't happen to me. So when it happened this morning, I paid attention. I got up and sought the face of God. And I will continue to do that. I implore you that you would go do that. Fast, pray without ceasing. That's what we need at this point. Strangely as it sounds, 2 football teams were the vision of this. 2 teams with their mascots representing, strangely enough, the United States. A patriot, founding fathers call themselves, people still call themselves, and an eagle. Hey, I didn't come up with it. It is kind of silly to me. It's corny to me, but I don't wake up with dreams. I just had to share it. And I now pass it along to you, and you do with it what you will. But we're in a point in this country where the Christians, people who call themselves Christians, need to stand in the gap. We are priests. We need to offer up prayers for the good of the people. It's required. It's critical. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for listening. The name of the channel is Slave to the Algorithm. Slave to the Algorithm is the name of the channel. I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know what else is coming. But if you would check back with me from time to time, there may be other things up. But I thank you for listening. And I wish you the best day possible.